Hi guys. Nat messaged me yesterday. You know Nat from Nat's Knackers Yard. I think he picked up one of my old bikes, a lexmoto Tempest. I'm like 3 weeks behind on videos, so it's probably been and gone by now. But how nice. I've seen that bike about. It stayed local, which means I can keep on top of how well it's been running, and it's been running great. Don't get me wrong, the guy probably had to do normal servicing, but I like knowing that a bike went out there and it stayed out there. I have no doubt there's some bikes that go out there and die, you know, that, I'm not gonna lie. What they shouldn't ever do is leave here and die immediately. I'd be the first person to help someone else if they messaged and said it's gone wrong. You know, I really would want to help and fix the problem. This is where I sit with this, right? I looked it up online. It's a 2022. This bike is currently less than 2 years old. It's 1 year, 10 months, which means it's also got over a year on the MOT left, and it's a good running, I think, riding bike. In that bag over there, I should have the new front caliper. Oh, I'm in two minds, right? This is what I can do. Let's be honest, right? Once I've cleaned it up and whatever, I don't even know if I've dropped oil on this, but actually I definitely want to dip the oil in case it's factory. Let's just be honest, once I've cleaned this up, right, I can put a new tank on it. There's definitely a Michigan tank out there, the EFI model, can definitely do it. Or, and sell it for $12.50-ish, or I can just get it running, riding. It has over a year's MOT, clean it up, make sure it's safe, and sell it for about $1,000. So instead of putting the extra $250 into it to make the extra $250, I could just leave it as it is. It's a bit of a slightly beaten bike, although it isn't. Once I put the panels back on and given it its clean, it's not. So that's kind of where I sit today. Yeah. This thing needs a tyre. This is a mate's bike, needs a tyre for MOT. So that will be a next Saturday thing. Junk and junk. I do want to. This is the one that they bought back from eBay. I do want to fire it up at some point and see what was going on, because that was a perfect riding engine. So there really shouldn't be any issues. What we don't know is if anything happened to it, and also if I was being really harsh, it was up in the back of a tip lorry. It wasn't strapped. It was just leaning. That journey alone could have done anything, could have loosened anything, rattled anything. So. But we just don't know. They could have changed anything. They were nice guys. I'm not being mean. What I'm trying to do is teach you guys, the watchers, that it happens out there. I don't think these guys did. They were very nice and polite, but it does happen. Right, what am I doing? I'm lost. Let me pull this out. What I really need to do is get this tank off. It is a bit of a faff, but I need to get it off because I need to see what the fuel pump system looks like in case I do decide there. So I need to see if it looks about the same size as the Michigan one. Because again, for 90 quid, as long as the fuel pump comes across and the fuel float for the gauge, then it's not the end of the world putting a nice new one on, is it? Let me pull this out and we'll see what we can do. Let's try and get the front brake. We have a rear brake working now, I think. What I didn't check yesterday was if the rear light, the pressure sensor's working. It might not be. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't after twisting all them wires. I also want to get rid of all the extra hoses there and maybe need to use one for the front. So let's pull this to the garage. Let's start doing some work, because this could technically be up and advertised today, and it could be a wicked cheap bike for someone that just has a couple of imperfections, you know. Seats off. Let me dip the oil now. We'll know if it's good or not. Let's dip that bad boy in. Yeah, it's not the factory stuff, and it's fairly clean. I'll see how I feel. Do you know what? If I say I'm servicing a bike I probably should at least do the oil and spark plug. I'll check the filter as well. To be fair, there's a fine balance here, right? I've bought this bike, okay? It's gone over. The steering was twisted. I've straightened the steering. I say I've straightened it. I've straightened it more. I haven't done the fine tuning yet. That takes a bit more. I think I need to go over a touch more. But that's easy. I can do that. That's fine tuning. The brake stuff, you know, he would have been charged hundreds. Let's be honest. It would have been hundreds just for the brake stuff I've already done. Because part of me is balancing here. Am I taking the mick by buying a cheap bike, not fully doing it up to the max and letting it go? And then the other part of me thinks, no, hang on a minute, I'm saving the bike. It had no brakes. The steering was bent. You know, little bits and pieces here and there that don't work, I'll fix. So I'm torn here. It's okay. Let's save the bike. Let's get someone out there on it for a reasonable price. That's the game. Right, what's next for me? I want to remove the tank for the same two reasons. Yeah, I want to check the fuel pump and then cross-reference online, see if it will go across. And I need to get to them the hoses for the brakes. This is interesting. The tank's off. It doesn't have the down pieces here, so it is. So it is slightly different. So the tank is slightly different, but it hasn't got these down bits here that connect onto that. But I do think the Michigan tank would fit. These don't exist. The Sinnis tank doesn't exist. Even Sinnis themselves don't have them, which is frustrating. Again, though, guys, look, we're looking at a tank that's functioning. So should I be overthinking it? Probably not. I want to just get these out, and we'll have a look at the collecting system up here somewhere that shares the load, and we'll be going to a single system on the front, so we'll be losing the fake ABS stuff, which is always more complex than it ever needs to be. I forgot, actually. I should find the keys and see if the rear switch is working. It's highly unlikely. Let me grab the keys. Let's see if we've got a rear brake light. I do doubt it, though. Hey, that's lucky front. Hey, very lucky, very, very lucky. And we know it starts and fires up. Let me put that back. So here's the system I was talking about. It's here, look, so it all collects here first, and then it goes across from there. It's a way of not using too long cables, and a way of kind of, I don't know actually, I think it kind of evens the pressure throughout, but whatever. But I need to get these off and just start fresh. The new one will just come straight from here. Let me check this is a traditional. Yeah, banjo. Yeah, it is. Cool. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll go straight to that. I think we're gonna lose. They're gonna drip. I'll just get a rag ready, soak it all up, and that's fine. I mean, if we're being really honest, you don't really need to pull it all out, actually. Where does this one go, actually? Where does this one go? This one goes... Oh, is that one going straight down? That's bloody weird, is it? Well, it can't be, or it would be working. Where is that? Well, that goes down to there, down to there. There's my finger. Down to there. Oh, that goes... So the front one is this one here. So this second one, the bottom one, goes up. It must come across into... Actually, I'm following it. Where's that going? It's so complex, it's nuts. It's nuts. If we've got one line going down, we don't need to worry about the other line. So, do the pistons pop out? Is it actually a functioning system? Where are they? Where's the pistons? Can you see them? No, there's a hole in it. Can you hear it? Alright, whatever. Let's pop it all off, cut it all out, whatever. So let's get this old bracket off. I've already loosened it. Keep them close. I don't know if we've got them. Actually, I think I can see them. Keep them close. That bracket, it won't be needed at this stage. I wonder if I just mount this at this stage. Pads are good. No, actually, let me give these pistons a clean up while they're off the bike. Be nuts not to. Just a spray and a rub. We all love a spray and a rub. I might also loosen up these pins, put a tiny bit of grease on them for future. Right, are we sliding? Yes, we're sliding lovely. I don't know how long this has been on the shelf, you see. Oh, it slid out, but it doesn't want to go back. Yeah, it's fine. Alright. I can't push them out, so I think it is literally going to be a douse it in brake fluid. I would like to turn them pins actually. Let's do that instead of let's do that. I say let's do it. It's let's attempt to do it. Oh, good. Look, that one's good. So that's serviceable. Is that the only pin? Yeah, perfect. All right, I'm gonna put a tiny dab of grease on that. You wouldn't even notice. Put it back in for future. Ah, no. Look, that's just the cover. Let's make sure this one turns. Yeah, it did. Alright. That's fine. Same thing, tiniest bit of fluid. Tiniest bit. That's only a WD style thing. It's just in there, it's not on the pads. And it's the tiniest bit. Let's get it out and onto the threads. And then back in. That just makes it serviceable for the next person. I'm not over tightening it. And then that can go back in. That's just the cover. The covers can get stuck, it's a right pain. So a bit of grease on there is good as well, which it is. Again, I'm not going tight, that's it. Finger tight. I think the rest of this looks okay to me. That should become a working brake quite quickly. We should get full feeling just through airing by tapping. When you see bubbles coming out in there, that's air. I need to top up the reservoir touch watch. The little bubbles. There you go.
Two 2,000 years later.
Alright, I'm gonna keep going at that and I'll get it sorted. If I have to, I'll break the nipple and do it properly, but it'll be fine. 2 working brakes now, guys. However, this moped I sold to a local last week. I just need to nip the revs up a touch. and put new front brake pads on, which I've got them ready. So I do want to focus on this. Revs are just slightly low, it just tinkers on that cutting out stage. I'm hoping I can get to the carb without too much effort. I don't really want to take out the bowl. Where is it? Oh, it looks like I'm gonna have to. Alright, I'll work it out. But yeah, this is kind of what we're all about. We want people to be safe on the road, so when they feel like something needs changing, we'll always change it for them. So new pads, nip the carb a touch, just get that idle up a touch, and nip up the seat, it's a bit loose.